Are we up? Are we running? I'm trying to see. Are we up and running? Yeah, we up and running. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, I thought I would make a video about this. I saw he posted this video today, and I was like, bro, I don't think you really understand where AI is going. So I thought I'd make a video about it, and we can talk about it. All right, so let's see what he's talking about here. All right. Oops. Hold on. Oops.
The reason I'm talking to you today
Is my audio on?
is really
Yeah, here we go.
because of a piece of hardware and software that came out in 1999. I've mentioned this before, but it's called the Digi-001 by DigiDesign.
I've
You
never
might be
seen
like,
this
what is that?
before. I had never heard of this before, so this is new to me.
It's one of the first digital audio workstations and interfaces made for a computer, which happens to be this G3 right here, which I got back in the year 2000. In fact, Universal Music bought this for my band, or for me to use, right before they dropped us. As you can see here, it's a little unit that is an interface. Then you have a cable that goes to a PCI card, which you can see here. And that went into the back of this computer, into the PCI slot. Once it's connected to the computer, you can just plug a microphone or instrument cable into the back of the unit and you can start recording digitally. This transformed the music industry completely, and it made it so that people like me could record at home and not in recording studios. You see, recording studios back then.
Yeah, I had never heard of this and never seen this, but I imagine that the problem they probably had was probably not a lot of software like DAWs available at this time. So
It cost a lot of money to build. You had to have a building, big building, because you usually have 3 rooms. You'd have a
yeah, now Rick's claim here is that, to record back in the day, you had to have this room full of a bunch of gear, right? And yeah, and it was very expensive to do, but now we can do it all on just a computer.
recording console in each room. An SSL console like this one cost about 750 grand. Many times you would have a Neve console for tracking in another room. That's 350 to 500 grand. And then usually in the third room, you have a mixing console. It could be another small format SSL or a Trident or something like that. These things they would take out loans on, and they would be incredible.
Yeah, all this right here is fine. Like, I have no disagreement with any of this. He's just stating facts, right? So we're not really getting into anything that's like controversial, right?
Incredibly expensive. You got the loan for the building, you got the loan for the gear inside of it, you got the loans for the microphones, things like that, and they would charge a fortune. Back then it cost about $2,000 a day, and when the studios bought the Pro Tools gear back in 1999, the bigger version of this Digi-01, which was called a Mix Plus system, those things, including the computers, cost about $30,000. So when they got those and they stopped using tape, they started charging people like myself an extra fee for Pro Tools, which would be about $500 a day. Not only that, but they charged you another $200 on top of it for a Pro Tools certified engineer.
Now, this is a very clever thing that I feel like he's doing right here. He's trying to compare AI to the idea that they had this dedicated computer, to using Pro Tools, when nowadays you can use your own interface on your own computer, right? It was a dedicated computer that ran Pro Tools, and he's comparing that to AI. And he's going to talk about, and eventually about, like, having your own dedicated AI on your own computer.
Even though I knew how to run Pro Tools myself because I was using it at home. Why is this important? Because the recording studios of that time are the data centers of today. Incredibly expensive to build and maintain. The stuff inside is incredibly expensive, and they're spending hundreds of billions of dollars on these things. The disruption that happened in the music.
Yeah, now he's saying that the data centers are similar to recording studios, and this is the first thing that I feel like is wrong here. He's trying to say that they're spending a lot of money. I guess he's going to continue to say, but yeah, they're spending a lot of money on these data centers like you would spend a lot of money in a recording studio, and that eventually these data centers are going to all be obsolete when people are able to use something at home. I mean, it's like, yeah, maybe, and probably, but we're not there yet because we need all these data centers. So that's not a valid point to really break up at this current moment.
25 years ago, first because of Napster, which killed the profit model, and then because computers got faster and faster, and it made it easier and easier to run these Pro Tools systems in your own home studios, which is the way that it's done pretty much in the music business by everyone in every style of music now. Recording studios are few and far between. The same thing has happened in film and TV. I'm recording this video right now with a camera that I got at Best Buy, a Sony camera that pretty much all you.
If anything, right now he's like fighting for AI, honestly, because he's saying, hey, I can do all this film stuff at home. I can do all of this recording at home. I don't need all this expensive gear. He's actually fighting for AI and don't really even know it, because I'm like, that's really the barrier that AI is trying to break from a lot of the higher end markets. It's like you got things like Suno that are trying to bring the everyday person into music, and the barrier entry was, I need to play an instrument. I need to know all of this stuff about like how to mix and master and EQ and all this stuff. Like, he's selling the point of AI right now.
YouTubers use, and I'm going to edit it on my computer that's sitting right here that's running the newer version of Pro Tools. That same computer is so fast, and computers have gotten so fast that they can run AI models on them. Let me show you how. Okay, so how do I get one of these LLMs or these AI programs on my computer? I'm going to go to this thing called LM Studio. LM Studio is a desktop application that provides a user-friendly graphic interface for searching, downloading, and running large language models.
What's so funny about this particular section, I have to point out, is, man, like, I can't believe he thinks that people are really going to do this
locally on your own hardware. So this is going to be run on your computer that's not connected to the internet. You can put all your personal data on and no one else can see it. Click download for Mac. I'm running a Mac. I get it. Okay, now I have to get an AI program or a large language model. So I'm going to go to this website called Hugging Face that has 2.7 million different free.
Bro, ain't nobody going to this website, bro. I promise you. Like, nah.
Free LLMs on it of all different sizes. I'm going to download one that's decent size. This is Qwen 3.5. This is one that has 36 billion parameters.
But to be fair, he is just trying to prove a point. So I'm not, yeah, he's just trying to prove a point.
So it's a big one, but it's not that big. I can run it on my computer that I bought at the Apple Store. Okay, I download that, Qwen 3.5, boom. Okay, I have it on the computer. Now I'm opening it. Open LM Studio. Here we go. I'm going to put Qwen 3.5 is on here. Okay, then I'm going to do new chat. Now let me put in a prompt that somebody probably that's watching this would put in. So the prompt is this. I have a list of these ingredients: eggs, milk, tomatoes, potatoes, flour, chicken. Give me a recipe out of these that I can cook tonight. You don't have to use all of these. Here we go.
Now I'm going to speed past a little bit of this, but basically he just using the AI for everyday things that most people are using AI for. Recipes, things to do when you're traveling. And I can't remember what the other one that he did in here. What did he do? Let me see.
Tomato chicken sauce or their AI for. Draft into a polite professional email.
Yeah, he did write an email for me, a professional email for needing to miss work. right? Which is what majority, and he's not wrong. Majority of people are using this for AI.
To my boss asking for, okay, so here it is. Hi, boss, or hi, application is outside of all projects are up to date. Please let, this is something, $100, list LLM.
Now this is where he kind of goes off the rails.
I'm not connected. Now remember, this is just running on
Right
my
here.
computer. I'm not connected to the internet with this. This is doing it from this LLM that's downloaded to my computer offline. My computer is not connected to the internet. Okay, here we go. Here's a one-day London itinerary designed to fit comfortably within a $100 budget. Morning in Hyde Park. It shows lunch 20, snacks and water $10, souvenirs $35, attractions free. This is that people don't know you're going to London. ChatGPT tips for London, so on and so forth.
So, yeah, he's saying he's doing all this off the internet. That this thing has a billion or something inputs in it that it can generate your everyday needs without having to connect to the internet.
This is something that you use. Now, the great part about this is that people don't know you're going to London. ChatGPT does not know your whereabouts. You don't want these companies knowing everything about you. Why are you getting...
No, he's saying you don't want these companies to know everything about you. And again, I mean, he's not wrong. I don't want companies to know everything about me. But the problem is you're already doing it, right? It's like if you have a phone, like you have a call log, you have text messages and things that are saved to these companies. Like the companies have your information from your phone. The companies have everything you're watching on TV. The companies, Google has your search history, right? These things are already happening. I'm not saying that you should just give up more of what you have, but I am saying that like people out here are just doing this and they don't really care. Honestly, I mean, you can find everybody's information on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, and then all the things that I already mentioned. GPS systems. You can find people's information already out here. So, like, he's saying, like, you don't want to give the information to ChatGPT. I'm like, bro, everybody's already giving their information. And also, again, going back to this thing with getting a dedicated computer that can run an AI system offline, like the amount of steps that an average person, he's very disconnected from the average person. I'm like, the average person is not buying an extra computer, going to some strange website and downloading an AI model to use offline. People want things quick, right? Most people probably are just using ChatGPT on their phones, and then they're probably using it on their computers. Yes, but they're not finna like buy a dedicated computer for AI. At least not right now, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe down the road, if we were able to have our own database inside the house, but I don't see that being the case as of yet.
Giving them your data about your personal life and things like that. Now, a lot of you are like, well, it already knows everything about me anyways. Well, it doesn't need to know any more than it needs to. Don't give them free information, and you don't need to spend $20 a month to do it. Okay, so why?
And then it's like, why don't you want them to get free information? I think a lot of that has to do with the idea that what a lot of musicians and people think is like you're teaching the AI how to think by giving it information, right? So it's not wrong, but it's the idea that they don't want AI to get better, right? Because if you use AI offline, I mean, how can it get any better than what it is, right? Because it don't have any information to feed off of, right? And you're not connected to the internet. And then on top of that, what's the other thing that's bad about that is like, he used the example of going to London on $100 budget. I mean, like, and it was suggesting things to do. And I'm like, well, if it's offline, how does it know that thing still exists? How does it know that all that stuff is still there? And it doesn't, right? Because it's offline. So it's not, I don't see that being a useful tool in that sense. Maybe for recipes, because that's something that's a little bit kind of standard. That always be like true in some regard. But yeah, like going to London, even crafting an email if it doesn't have specifics, right? It may not know something that's current, like again with locations, right? So, I don't think it's a good long term solution, which is why data centers are good because they can constantly get new information that then affects what you are already, what you're asking about. It gets new information, right? So I don't really see how you're gonna just buy a computer offline and use it offline. That sounds crazy.
Why is this important? What happened to all these recording studios after there was no profit model that the labels relied on to make records with? They all went out of business. They couldn't afford to make the payments on those $750,000 SSL consoles or their Neve consoles or anything. They couldn't afford the electric bills because people were recording at their homes. And this is what I think is going to happen with these AI companies. The data centers, they're going to be sitting there unused. Many of them will not be.
Why? But why though? Because you said so? Like that sounds kind of crazy. That's really crazy to me. Like because you think that people are gonna do that, like that's why I'm like, bro, you are so disconnected from from the average person, bro. The average person is not going to buy another computer, and is not going to download some random thing because they're not. Most people are not like tech savvy or care that much about this kind of thing, right? So these data centers are very important because they get you to the answer quicker. You get there faster. You get what you need faster. It's like, bro,
built when people start using AI locally, meaning on their computer. And the same thing.
And here's the other thing about AI that I want to say, especially about music. He's talking about recording studios and like how that's not like people are not using that as much anymore because they have home setups. And I'm like, that's exactly what what AI is going to do, right? It's going to eliminate you going. So let's just think about like history right now, right? I mean, you had to have musicians show up to a recording studio to record all of these parts, and now you can do it in your home, and you can get VSTs, any digital kinds of instruments, and play all this stuff yourself. You don't have to hire a session player, right? And then in some cases, you were still hiring session players, right? Some people, like maybe Rick, is still hiring people to come out to the studio to play certain things in the studio, right? But the thing is like, that's still the old way of doing things, honestly. It's like I've seen people literally make music on their laptop and not touch an instrument at all. Right. I see that happen constantly, especially in the mainstream world, which is mainly where I'm coming from with this. It's like you can still find people recording instruments in real places, in studios and stuff like that. You can still find that. You can still find people that can play instruments, right? And things of that nature. It's not going anywhere. But when it comes to mainstream though, it's like, bro, like people are recording things on their laptops and never touching an instrument. They're taking loops of things, and chopping it, splicing it, reversing it, slowing it down, changing the keys. All of that stuff can be done without touching an instrument, and they're making music out of it. And whether you like it or not, that's completely, up to you. But the point I'm making with that is just that AI is similar to that, right? Now I don't have to even chop and splice stuff. I can put in a prompt and see exactly what I want. Now AI is not there yet, but because like if you've ever worked with like Suno and things, which I've used a little bit of it, you tell it prompts, right? And it's not very good right now. Right now, it gives you cool results, but it's not going to give you like very unique, a very unique like style music. It's not. It's really not. but this is just the infancy stage, right? Eventually you'll be able to tell it, okay, I want you to play, I want the first 8 bars to be such and such chords. Let's take the drums from, this song, within a 3/4 groove, and I want this kind of bass line that I heard in this other song. I mean, this eventually will be where prompts will go, right? And you'll be able to envision exactly what you were thinking, right? Because you imagine you're telling a session player this kind of stuff, right? If you're a producer of some kind, you're like, man, hey man, I want you to record some guitar and I heard this other song. I want you to kind of play something like that. That's typically kind of how session work can be. Sometimes they want you to come in there and play what you play, but sometimes people have an idea of what they want, right? And that's where AI benefits, is because now you're not limited by the skill set of the session player. You're just, the AI can do it all. And I mean, I'm not trying to make this also sound like I'm just so gung ho about AI and stuff. It's just that I know what eventually will happen to AI. That's just what eventually it will be able to do. And so with all of that knowledge that it will be able to do, I mean, you can't beat it. And people are not, again, like people are not going to be downloading AI software on a computer that's not connected to the internet. That's just not going to happen, right? Because the point that makes AI even great at all is the fact that it knows you specifically. And he's trying to make the case that like, oh, you don't want it to know your information. But no, I honestly think the people that get great benefit out of this want it to know their information. They're like, here's my schedule for the week. How can I organize myself to make sure I get it all done, right? Or there's people like trying to get it to be their therapist, right? And it's like, oh, like Chat GPT or these AI things can like be like, oh, I remember you talked about that one time before. Oh, let's unpack that, like, right? So I just don't see what he means by that.
Happen to the music business and recording is going to happen to these AI companies, because people are going to realize, oh, I can do this at my house. I don't need to be paying these companies. If a 64-year-old guy like me can figure this out last night and show you today, how hard can this stuff be? People are using these things, Suno and Udio and everything, for music creation. People are taking their business contracts and everything, they're feeding it into ChatGPT. People are taking any of their business things, their financial information, they're feeding it into these things, and they're training off your data that you own yourself, your own personal information, your own intellectual properties. And
here's the other thing, people fighting AI. They're like, man, it's stealing you. It's stealing your personal creativity or whatever. And like, if you believe that you are very creative, why do you have a problem with that? Honestly, like if you're like, man, I'm so great, I'm just me. Like no robot can replace me. Why would that even matter? Unless you do believe that robots can replace you, and they can, right? But they can't. But they also can't be as creative as a human, right? Because that's what AI is. AI is only an aggregation of all the information that people have given it, right? So while it can be just as good as you, it might not be as creative as you, though, right? But also, and this is where I really think it shines, is that it's an idea generator, really. It's an idea generator. You tell it all of the things, you give it a certain type. This is also what I meant to touch on. I kind of, I was going all over the place in that rant earlier, but it's like, bro, like people make it sound like AI will just be very generic and like plain and bland, but that's not even going to be the case either. It's like it's going to be able to. There are some people that will tell it prompts that are very simple and like not even as descriptive, right? It may be like, yo, bro, I want a R&B song that's soulful. You might just say that, right? And you're gonna get generic, and you're gonna get generic output from that, right? And again, that and there might be people who are musicians like Rick, like me, like other people who are gonna be like, yo, I want you to write a song in this key with these chords, and I wanted to. Gonna be like a jazzy song with a ballad at about 112 BPM, and I want this instrument, this instrument, this instrument, this instrument, right? And then it generates that for you. And that's not even like as descriptive as you can get. But I imagine that you can get that descriptive, and you're just doing this from what you say. Right? You don't even have to worry about like hiring all these people, chopping and splicing this audio to get it to sync right and do all these different things. You're getting what you want. Now it's not there yet, but again, like I just said, this is where it'll eventually get to, because this is only the beginning stages. And if you use an AI, you would understand that that's what it's going to get to, right? And most people will use it generically, like he's saying they are right now. They're going to be like, "Hey, write a song. I'm upset today. Can you write me a happy song while I'm on my way home from work?" And people will use AI like that, and it'll be very cookie cutter, like just very simple, straight to the point stuff. Very, just whatever music, right? But people will still crave creativity because they're not going to be creative about it, right? Most people are not creative about their workouts without help, right? Most people are not creative about dancing or not creative about anything. They just know there's certain moves. They're not creative about cooking. They're not creative about any of these things. Most people are asking ChatGPT, hey, what's an easy meal to make, right? People like to use easy, not difficult, all this stuff, right? And then there'll be these people out here that'll use ChatGPT to do the difficult stuff. That's just how it's going to be. Like most people just want simplicity, and they will then look at all the creativity that people were able to do with a tool like AI. They'll look at it that way and be like, bro, I couldn't do that, but that's amazing. Like I didn't even know like people were able to do this kind of stuff with this stuff, right? So that's what it'll be. AI will be a tool, just like your laptop has become a tool. Like he didn't really point that out, but I'm like, bro, your laptop is the new tool. It's the new console, right? It's the new editing software. It's your mixer. It's your new, it's your interface. It's your everything. It's the new tool that has taken away all of these jobs, right? And AI is a new tool that will take away all of those jobs, right?
Why is that? Because you and me are the product. So, who are the winners and losers of this? Well, the companies that make hardware, like Apple, Google, NVIDIA, any company that makes computers, computer chips, things like that, those are the ones that are going to be the winners. Unfortunately, the ones that are going to be the losers, in my opinion, are the companies that make these AI programs. For most people's needs, individuals and businesses, even good-sized businesses, you can do these things on your own computers offline.
But most people won't do it, bro. Most people not finna do that, man. That's the thing. Like, I mean, there are businesses today that still don't update their websites, right? There are still people today that don't have like, I don't even know, man. There's people today that don't have like a lot of different things set up, and their businesses are running, right? So that idea is like, people are not finna do it themselves. Some people will, and most people won't, right? And then on top of that, again, it's not going to be efficient. It's not efficient to be offline doing this kind of thing. It's just crazy, right? So, yeah, so it's just crazy that to even like bring that up. I'm like, I was just surprised because I'm like, I'm a fan of Rick. I love what he does. He lives here in Atlanta with me. I would love to meet him too. I did see him one time at a Jason's Deli. I saw him at a Jason's Deli one time. I didn't bother him though, but I saw him one time, and that was cool. But I would love to meet him and talk to him since he lives here in Atlanta. But man, he was so wrong about this. I had to make a video, and I wanted to make a video in general because I see a lot of people just very negative about AI and what it's going to be able to do and what it can do. And I think people are just not looking at it in the right lens of what the possibilities are. I'm not saying that it's like it's the best thing in the world, because I wouldn't say that. But especially as a musician myself, I'm a jazz R&B guitar player, right? So if it's hurting anybody, it's hurting me. But I do see where it could benefit me, where it could benefit you, right? If I wanted to write an album, now I don't have to worry about hiring all of these people and the money that costs, right? Like he just talked about, right? Because while you don't have to pay for all these consoles and mixing desks and whatever else, whatever he's talking about, and to pay for all that, and you have to pay for the session to do it. You still today have to pay people if you don't know how to do these things. Like, say you can't play the drums, you can't play the bass, you can't mix and master. You still have to pay people to do that. So what is AI doing now? It's like it's cutting out those people out too. It's giving you a mixed product. While it may not be as good as a human, it's giving you a mixed product to the point where most people probably wouldn't know. And then and then you're able, if you're an artist yourself, to write a full length album without needing all the other people, and you get the vision that you were looking for, right? Because if you've ever dealt with any other people, you know that it's hard to get people to kind of see your vision, right? Because maybe they're not listening to exactly what you mean. You're like, bro, I want you to play this part like Pino Palladino. And they might be like, I don't know who that is. Right? Or they might be like, oh yeah, I know him, but I can't really do that kind of style. Right? While AI will be like, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Right? And you're getting access to a type of Pino Palladino person. Right? And again, people are going to hate it because they're like, man, you're taking the creativity away. But you have to look at it from Rick is like the guys up top. Right? He's looking at it like, hey man, I do all this work here, and I need people to come to me. While us little guys are like, bro, or you should be as well. It's like, bro, I can't afford all of this. Like, I need this would be a good help for me if this was able to get to the point where I'm able to hire some professional type of talent through AI. Right? Now I'm writing professional style music myself at home with professional style musicians. Right? The possibility becomes endless at that point. It's like, bro, so I mean, it was just a funny thing that when I heard this, it's like, bro, I can't believe it. Don't nobody want to watch this. All right. All right. So anyway, that's it. I'm off the rant. I see nobody really came in here, so we're gonna stop streaming. But yeah, if you like this, if you catch this later, let me know, and I'll hopefully do more